Thank you. Doesn't, just don't tell them. I don't want. So God is too big for one religion. Love and quantum physics are my religion. This was John Lennon talking about quantum physics. I mean, is that amazing? At one level, all religious traditions have the same aim: to transform the individual into a positive being. I love Jesus, I love Shiva, I love Krishna, I love Buddha. All rivers lead to the same ocean. Is that just not beautiful? So if you're new and you're here for the first time and that resonates with you, you found your home. Because that's truly what we believe. You know, we're here in this teaching, and what our classes are all about is just to awaken something within you, the truth of who you are. My next slide, please. This is from Ernest Holmes. I am forever one, with spirit in it and of it. And I love that one because, you know, we talk about the afterlife a lot. What happens, you know? Those who think that, when you take your last breath, that's it. And then, but what about the before life? Think about that. Think about that. You're growing in your mother's stomach, you know, and you're in there. But do you have any consciousness? Do we get our thoughts, our consciousness when we come out? I mean, can you imagine if there was no before life? I believe there is a before life. I believe this is not necessarily Ernest Holmes. This is the truth according to Dr. Laura's truth. That we choose the families that we pick in. Okay, I need to go to that family because I need to learn this. I need to experience this. I mean, because think about it. You're in there, you're growing, you got this cord coming out of you, you hear some noises. But what if there wasn't a before life? Would that not be terrifying? If you're just in there and then all of a sudden you go through this canal, you know, and you're like, geez, what is this? And you feel this pushing. My God, what is going on? And all of a sudden these hands, something grabs you, and then they hit you. You know, and there are these beings out there. There are these beings. What is this? Where am I? See, I just don't, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, they put you in, something's grabbing you and holding you, and you go, well, yeah, this is kind of nice, you know. But really really think about that. If there was not a before life, this little creature comes out and has no clue, but yet immediately, I remember holding my first granddaughter, and she just like melted in my arms. Don't you think that we come out with that love, that consciousness already? Do you think really? See, my theory is there are no accidents in the universe. I believe that there is a divine plan for each of us. My next slide, which is, you're going to go, where did this come from? It's spring. What are you planting? And I tell you that because, when you plant something, right, don't you have to get the soil ready? You got to pull the weeds. You get the rocks out of the way. You pick, what seeds do I want? What ideas? Who do I want to be? Where am I going to put these seeds? And so we are always planting new ideas, new ways of being. My next slide is really going to be a weird one for you. Avatar, and a manifestation of a deity or released soul in bodily form on earth, an incarnate divine teacher. So what made me show this one, because Greg Braden said something, those of you who know Greg Braden, and he said we're all avatars. So, we identify with these bodies, that this is me, this is Flora, that's Dale, that's Annie. But really, there's this divine intelligence that is us, that is inhabiting this body. That's the one that's come here to experience life. Each one of us we're all part of the whole, just as I'll call you doctor almost. Reverend Williams said in his beautiful prayer, we are each these all part of the whole, but we are all unique. We are all bringing our own energy, our own consciousness here. So here, right now we've got some little, it seems like it's an everyday thing in our country, but there's a little different way of seeing things. But think about it. If you were standing at a box, and there are 4 of us standing at each corner, each side of the box, I'm looking at red, you're looking at blue, this one's looking at green and yellow, we see things differently. But it doesn't mean we're wrong. We're seeing things from our perspective. And so we're not there to convince somebody that you're right or you're wrong. That is their life experience. Our life experience, everybody's life experience, go, wow, really, you see it that way? Man, I don't see it that way. Tell me why you see it that way. But right away, sometimes we just condemn each other or say, you're crazy, you're wrong, what the heck are you thinking? And I have to admit, I get caught up in that myself. But we forget, what am I here to experience in this? My next slide. I love this. The physical body is like the car we drive. The car is the vehicle, okay? It isn't who we are, but rather something we temporarily get inside of that gets us from point A to point B. So think about your body that way. When I read this, I thought, oh my God, for years have I not been talking about big Laura and little Laura? So there's this big Laura, which is really part of my consciousness that's say, oh, I know really what this body wants to experience, so I put this in their way, and then I get to maneuver around and choose who I am, who you're going to be from point A to point B. And so, this is an opportunity for us to look at our lives. It's spring. What are you planting? Sometimes we need to clean out some maybe things in our consciousness that are holding us back. That's why we do prayer, meditation, we do energy work, we get different things because our bodies, if there's something not working in your life, it's a good opportunity to look at, where did that come from? Is there something maybe in my subconscious, because this thing keeps popping up, that I need to look at, and I need to heal, and I need to release? It's a good time to see a practitioner or a minister or something if you can't figure it out, because there's some things that are driving you. And it's more than just this little Laura. There's something bigger. There's a bigger picture. And it was like when you came in here maybe for the first time. Maybe not the first time, but there was something that drew you back here. And, it's not just the crazy ministers standing up here sometimes, but there's an energy here. Do you feel it? Right? Those of you who are here for the first time, I remember, this is, talking about Catholicism, this is Palm Sunday. When I was in Catholic school and in Mass, I would love Palm Sunday because we get those little palm fronds that were blessed, and my brother and I would use them for swords to fight with. Not really understanding the full meaning, not really caring, to be honest with you. Just, is it Mass? So when's Holy Communion so we can get out of here? That was my experience of church. The only time we talk to each other is, the power of God be with you, or the peace of God be with you, and you'd shake hands. Otherwise, you never looked at anybody really or talked. Maybe you did for coffee or something afterwards, but when you were in there, and that's not what this community is. I love that how Reverend Dale does so beautifully the first of the month, all the religions, because we are all one. And then my other one said, we're all in this. We're in the ocean. We're all going to the same place. We're all wanting to touch our love that is within us. That's where our power lies. Yes, the mind is very powerful, because when we're doing stinking thinking, that's what we get. But when we're coming from our heart, from a place of love, then we see the world differently. We show up in the world differently. That's what I believe this teaching is about. That's what I believe that Ernest Holmes, that was the beauty of his teaching. I think what resonated with me when I first came here was how he took all the religions, and really all of them were about love and about the oneness. And so to categorize yourself as, you don't have to categorize yourself as a religious scientist or anything like that. We are the divine. I don't want to go up and say, hi, I'm Laura, I'm the divine. But, but you go about your life just seeing and being that way. And the more that we do that, the more that we just show up each day from this place of knowing the truth, knowing that you are the divine. You are the divine, and as Dr. Joe would say, give God a good time. Live your life from that place of joy and connection, because even when things that come up, I've only seen part of it, and I don't understand it. That Everywhere movie, the one, I always never see it from the beginning, so maybe I don't know, but it is cray-cray. I don't understand it. I need to see it from the beginning to the end, I guess. But the one thing I did get, because we do live in this multiverse, I did get that part of it, is that I remember something happened. I was in a relationship, and we broke up, and I was kind of devastated. But there was this part of me, and I even told him that I'm sure maybe that's why he broke up with me, it's because I'm crazy. But I said, I believe on some level somewhere we are together. Circumstances right now, here, don't make it work that way, but I believe that we are together. And of course, he looked at me like you guys are looking at me. But I do believe that. I do believe there's a part of us that's experiencing in this whole vast universe, and as big as our consciousness can be, we're not just limited to this body. We are just like the before life and the afterlife. I loved Sylvia Brown talked about these two women that were really good friends. On the other side, they were sitting on a hill planning their next life, what they were going to do in their next life. And one said, I am going to make your life miserable when we go back. I am going to make your life friggin' miserable. And so anyway, they came back to Earth, and this one woman had married this man, and she got married later in life, and her mother-in-law was driving her nuts, just always picking on her and just being mean to her. And in fact, she was thinking about leaving her husband because he was so close to his mom, and she really didn't want to come between them, but she couldn't take this woman anymore. So anyway, I don't know if it was Sylvia or she sent her to somebody. She did like a past life regression and showed her that conversation and said, this is what happened. And so when she came out of it, she said, oh my God. So when her mother-in-law would be mean to her, she'd just give her a hug and laugh at her and stuff. It was driving her mother-in-law crazy. So they both fulfilled their wish for life. They both did that. And so sometimes maybe there's somebody in your life that's just like on the chalkboard, and maybe that was part of the agreement. So if you can just go with the flow and just, okay, that life just unfolds. Just remember, you are so much more, and you are here to just interconnect. And what is yours to do? What is yours to be? And it's just to be love, and it's just to connect with each other. And then my next slide, please. The only things we take with us when we leave this world are the things we've packed inside our hearts. Isn't that beautiful? You don't want to take any crap with you, right? So why even get down in the mud and, be part of that? See the love in everything. Feel that in your heart. That is where our power really lies, is in our heart. If you just everybody, okay, just I want you to just close your eyes, put your 2 fingers on your heart. Just breathe in. Just feel your essence. That is the true you. That is what you came here to be. That is who you are. Now, when you leave here today, take it with you and remember this in those dark times or rough times. You are the divine. You're just driving this car. You are so much more than just this vehicle that you're in. You are it all. It's everything. You are connected to each other. That energy that you're feeling, you're connected to all the people around you, to everybody outside of the wall, to our Lutherans on this side, our Greeks, our Catholics, our Christian people. Those people too. We're connected. We're all part of it. And so just remember that. And this is Holy Week, but every week is holy. Every day is holy. And remember that. Namaste.